Hello and welcome. I'm really glad you're here today because what I'm about to share is something very personal and also something that I think many of you will understand. Today, I want to talk about learning English, not from the perspective of a teacher or an expert, but as someone who has walked the road myself. I know how it feels to want to learn English and how hard, confusing, and even lonely it can be at times. I started learning English when I was a teenager. At first, it was just another school subject. You know, grammar rules, vocabulary tests, some reading exercises. Nothing very exciting. I memorized words. I filled in the blanks. I passed the exams. But I didn't really speak English. I didn't use it. It was like learning about swimming by reading a book, but never getting into the water. The moment I really felt the desire to learn English was when I watched a movie in English without subtitles. I couldn't understand much, just a few words here and there. But something about it fascinated me. The way people spoke, the way their voices rose and fell, the rhythm of their conversations, it made me curious. I thought, I want to understand this. I want to feel what they feel. I want to speak like that. So I started trying. But very quickly, I discovered that learning a language, really learning it, is not easy. In the beginning, everything was difficult. I was afraid to speak. I was afraid to make mistakes. I kept translating everything in my head. I knew the rules, but I couldn't use them in conversation. I would think, is this present perfect? Or past simple? By the time I figured it out, the conversation had already moved on. There were moments when I wanted to give up. I thought, maybe I'm not good at languages. Maybe this isn't for me. I remember one time I was talking to a tourist who asked for directions. I wanted to help, but I got nervous. My mind went blank. I said something strange, and they looked confused. Afterward, I felt so embarrassed. For days, I kept thinking about that moment. But over time, I realized something important. Mistakes are not the enemy. In fact, they are necessary. They're how we learn. Every time I made a mistake, even if I felt bad about it, I was learning something. Slowly, I started to see mistakes not as failures, but as steps. Steps forward. Steps toward fluency. I also realized that just studying grammar was not enough. I needed to make English part of my life. So I began doing little things every day. I changed the language on my phone to English. I started watching YouTube videos in English, sometimes with subtitles, sometimes without. I listened to English podcasts while walking or doing chores. At first, I didn't understand everything, but I kept going. And little by little, things started to click. One of the best things I did was start speaking, even when I was alone. Yes, I talked to myself. Out loud. It might sound silly, but it really helped. I would describe what I was doing. Now I'm making coffee. I'm opening the fridge. I'm taking the milk. I did this every morning. It helped me think in English and build confidence. Later, I found language exchange partners online. I talked to people from different countries. Some were native speakers, others were learners like me. We helped each other. Sometimes I was nervous, sometimes I made mistakes. Okay, a lot of times, but I kept speaking. And the more I spoke, the more I learned. One of the most important lessons I learned is this. You don't need to speak perfectly to speak confidently. You just need to be understood. Fluency doesn't mean zero mistakes. Fluency means you can express your thoughts without too much fear or hesitation. The goal is communication, not perfection. Let me be honest, even now, I still make mistakes in English. I still forget words sometimes. I still pause. But I don't let that stop me anymore. And I think that's what really matters, not being perfect, but being brave enough to keep going. Another thing that helped me was reading. I started with simple stories, things made for learners. But soon I moved to books, articles, and blogs in English. At first, I had to look up many words. But over time, my vocabulary grew. Reading also helped me learn grammar naturally, not by memorizing rules, but by seeing how English works in real sentences. The key was doing it every day. Not for hours, just a little bit. 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there. Some days I did more, some days less. But I stayed consistent. And that consistency made a difference. It's like exercise. If you go to the gym once a week for 3 hours, it's not as good as doing 20 minutes every day. And then there's listening. For me, listening was hard at first. Native speakers talk fast. They use slang. They connect words. But I kept listening. First to slow English podcasts. Then to faster ones. Then to movies, music, and news. I listened again and again. Sometimes I repeated phrases out loud. That helped me with pronunciation and rhythm. Little by little, my brain got faster. I stopped translating in my head. I started understanding more. And I started to feel, really feel, the language. Not just in my head, but in my heart. Sometimes people ask me, how long did it take to learn English? And the truth is, I don't know. Because learning a language doesn't happen all at once. It's not like one day you can't speak, and the next day you can. It's a slow process. You don't notice the small changes day by day. But after a few months, you realize, hey, I understand that podcast. Or, wow, I just had a conversation without panicking. That's the magic of daily progress. You may not feel it today or tomorrow. But trust me, if you keep going, it will come. Now, let me tell you something else. Learning English is not just about English. It's about confidence. It's about discovering who you are. When I started speaking English, I became more open. I met people from around the world. I read books that changed the way I think. I watched movies that moved me. I expressed ideas I never could before. English became more than just a language. It became a bridge to new knowledge, new people, new opportunities. It made me more curious, more connected, and yes, more confident. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. Because if you're learning English now, if you're struggling or doubting yourself or feeling like you're not good enough, I want you to know you're doing better than you think. The fact that you're listening to this podcast means you care. It means you're trying. And that matters. Please don't compare yourself to others. Everyone learns at their own speed. Some people speak quickly, others need more time. That's okay. This is not a race. It's your journey. You get to walk it your way. So what's my advice? First, don't be afraid to speak. Start small. Talk to yourself. Record your voice. Find a partner. Join an English group. Say something. Anything. Just speak. Second, make English part of your life. Watch what you love in English. Listen to music, podcasts, anything that interests you. Read books or articles that make you curious. Let English be fun, not just a subject. Third, be patient. There will be days you feel stuck. Days when you forget a word or make a mistake. That's okay. It's normal. Keep going. And finally, believe in yourself. You are capable. You are smart. You are strong. You're not just learning a language. You're building a skill, a future, a connection with the world. So wherever you are in your English journey, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced learner, I want to say, I see you. I understand you. And I'm proud of you. Thank you for listening to me today. I hope my story gave you something to think about. Maybe hope, maybe motivation, maybe just a little reminder that you're not alone on this journey. Keep learning. Keep practicing. Keep believing.